Hi everybody, it's Wednesday afternoon and I watched a little bit of the Duchess of Ottawa last night, and she had a very brief thumbnail up to say, showing supposedly an email she'd gotten from the owners of the mansion to call plans off, not giving any specific reasons why. There was no intention to ever move, let's face it, there wasn't. Pete was non-committal when asked about it because he didn't like lying. And it's unfortunate that you've gotten him to lie for you, left, right and centre. He's coming out in a rush, actually. I don't know whether it's nerves or what it is, but he's breaking out all over his face. And now you're involving his own mother in the little setup that she was going to be moving in and looking after BBJ, who you said you weren't going to murder using the word. Do you think that's funny? Because I don't. Duchess. Anyway, it's fallen through. The owner was there when you went during the daytime, as was the owner's son. Nothing was said to you at the time. Everything was going fine. You got the key, you said. You were given a little jar of homemade paste or spread to put on whatever it is you eat, by the housekeeper who was there doing her thing. So it was all too good to be true, wasn't it? Every penny that you were going to be paying in rent, they were going to allow you to offset against purchase of the property if you wanted to purchase it in 2 years' time. And then you said yesterday, you said that it was going to be a 1 year's contract. Which is it? You contradict yourself at every turn. You are a mistress of gaslighting. You've had that much experience of it, I guess. No real experience of anything else other than lying and wrong-footing people. So they said nothing to you whilst you were there, that you weren't going to be moving in. They let you go away with the key and a jar of spreadable, eatable paste, whatever it was. And then you get an email later on in the evening. Doesn't sound suspicious at all, does it? And then when people were saying, we warned you, you're going to lose money. I said, what money? I haven't given them any money. You made a video, if I recall rightly, saying that we've got it, hooray, hooray, it's all settled, we're moving in, I've paid the rent. Was it the first month's rent? So you did give them a deposit, you did give them rent money, and I guess that's why you were short this month, or the reason you were giving for being short this month was because you had to pay rent on that place, $3,600, and they were going to let you have that place for nothing virtually. If you were there for 2 years, they were going to knock 80. What was it? What would it be? It would be $87,000 off the price of the house if you rented for 2 years, and they knocked every penny that you paid off. Nonsense. They were going to get people going in to look after the cats, pay for your cats also. Nonsense. In fact, you said yesterday, they said that there was no need to look after the cats, that they got somebody else to do it. So, you know, just a liar. Just a liar. And I'm surprised that you've got anyone still paying money paying for your OnlyFans, or maybe that's down now, paying for your postcards here, paying for memberships, sending you super chats, and encouraging you when, you lie, you attempt to treat everybody as a fool. There's many of us that aren't fools, Chantal, believe you me. See right through you. The Duchess of Ottawa. I would have said the Duchess of Cornwall because that's where you're from, isn't it? But we've got a Duchess of Cornwall in England. And she's a gracious lady, so let's not go there. So the mansion's off. Surprise, surprise, you hadn't done any packing anyway. No packing whatsoever. In fact, you stopped showing the mess of your room because people were querying why you hadn't started packing, why you hadn't started getting rid of stuff. Well, we know the reason now, don't we? Because you weren't going anywhere. So you said you've got to be out of the villa by this weekend. Where does that leave you and Pete's? Where are you going to move? Not that I care really. I just care that you're lying to people and you're making mugs of people. And not least also that you are taking in vain the very deep, devout feelings that some people have for Islam. You don't. And clearly the love of your life doesn't, because haven't you been sexting videos? Seeing if he measures up to size. Wasn't that what you intimated on one of your videos? You're disgusting. Let's hope that's not on your phone when you go through the airport, if you go through the airport, if you're going to get there at all. But let's hope there's nothing incriminating on your phone or in your luggage or on the person of your one true love. The hijabs that you're wearing, the one you had on last night when you made this statement about the mansion, it looked like two badly thrown together tea towels that had been used and used and used, that you were going to throw out as cloths to wipe your window ledges, but you decided to throw on and just pin up. What a state you were last night, high as a kite, and you're wearing that headdress. That tells us all we need to know about you and your humility, your meekness, your desire to be better, your desire to be Muslim even. It isn't going to happen. You don't just catch religion like you catch gonorrhea, for example. You know what I mean? So, you were saying also that once you get to Kuwait with Saleh, you want to try out what it's like wearing the abaya, which we all had to wear when we were there, when going out. The abaya, the black silk cloak to the ground, and the hijab around your head, covering your chest, but also the veil part so that only your eyes are showing. What you're talking about there is not the hijab, it's not the niqab, it's the burqa. You're talking about trying out the burqa. You've got no right whatsoever to don one of those garments. No right. Those of us who worked there for years You know, we wore the abaya because we had to conform when we went out. But as far as covering our heads, as far as wearing a niqab or a burqa, it was not even a consideration. And had one of us decided that we just wanted to try it out, we would have been slapped in a jail cell. Let me tell you that they will put you in a cell first and ask you questions later. They don't stand nonsense like they did when you were reporting supposedly Nada for abuse and then taking back the allegation. That wouldn't happen over there. Don't come with your antics over there. Although, if you do, we might get a little bit of content, a little bit of entertainment, which will perhaps make up for the last year and a bit, year and a half of nada, your one true love, of the married man who you were catching feelings for just 2 days before you fell in love with Saleh. Oh, and then there was Tony, of course. It'd be interesting if somebody actually drew up a chart, and I'm sure somebody probably has actually, just to see how many men, married and otherwise, we know they're all from the Middle East, or the majority are, but how many men, married or otherwise, you've slept with in the last 6 months, in the last 6 weeks even. They don't want you in that country. They won't want you in the Middle East. They don't know what you like. But if they do get to find out what you like, they will send you home. They will send you back post-haste to Ottawa. You go in there, you're meeting your love, you're getting married. He's supposed to be a devout Muslim. And yet he's been in these sexting calls with you, unless you're lying again. And he's marrying you, even though he's never met you. A 28, 29-year-old man, 10 years younger than you, whose family will expect him to have a family of his own. What's wrong with the hundreds of Syrian girls he could marry? The hundreds of Muslim girls, regardless of where they're from, he could marry. I wonder what it is that's made him choose you. Could it be Canadian citizenship? Could it be the copious amounts of money that you make for doing nothing? Because I bet you exaggerated that to him also. When you wear your burqa, I suggest you practice eating. When we ate in the restaurant at lunchtime, if we decided to eat in a restaurant, the men and the women were strictly segregated. Men on one side, women on the other, partitions in between. Couldn't see each other, apart from at the counter. The women who were there wearing a burqa, they would have their plate full of food and they would take bite-sized pieces, usually picking them up by hand, unless it was soup, obviously, but usually picking them up by hand and lifting the burqa and shoving the food in. I suggest you try it. Are you in for an awakening? As I say, it's clearly where I was more, the rules were far more stringent, rigidly adhered to, and you wouldn't have gotten into that country. You wouldn't have. Even if somebody had proposed marriage to you, there's no way they would have allowed you in, anybody in, except the wives of men who worked there, who were allowed to go out for a visit every 6 months or so. But you certainly wouldn't have got into that country. And rightly so, because had you, there's a very, very real probability that we wouldn't be seeing you for another 15, 20 years. Another 15 or 20 years before you came back on here, beezing. So let's see where this takes us, shall we? When are you going? Somebody wrote it was going to be the 14th of November that you were going, which, just a throwaway bit of information, that's Prince Charles's birthday. He'll be 74. So apparently you're going on the 14th of November. You've booked economy and paid for it yourself, because Saleh, who was going to get you business class or first class, that's gone by the way, hasn't it? So let's see what promises are kept, what promises are made, what fallacy it's all going to be, and the milk that we're going to be able to draw from you, whether you go or whether you don't. Pete, you need to get away from that woman. You consider her your friend, but what has she done that's positive, that's had a positive impact on your life? She's made you overly dependent on her, and she's ready to pull the rug when it suits her. It's about time your mum or your brother stepped in and told you a few home truths. Anyway, everybody, I've not long got out the shower. I'm going to have a read, and I may be back later. I may not. I might leave it till tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.